guys, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Saga MC.
And this is a show no one asked for, episode 623. How you doing, Saga?
I'm good. That wasn't how you said you were gonna open, but it's cool. It's all right.
No, I said I was gonna introduce you, but then you wanted to do it. You wanted to do it, so
go ahead.
Go.
All right. Just remember to give me all this after. But anyway, go ahead. We'll start it over. Go.
Don't tell me what. Give you what? What are you asking for now?
Give me my money.
Give me my money. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay. Wait, how did I say I was gonna do it? What were you expecting?
No, because then you had said like, oh, I was gonna say, oh, if you want to introduce yourself. I was like, okay. But then I thought you were gonna still keep the rest that you were gonna say. But just do how you were originally gonna say.
Yeah. Oh, how I was gonna introduce you, introduce the show.
Sure. Go for it.
All right. All right. Hey guys, I'm Daniel.
That's why I thought you said you were gonna introduce me.
I was.
Okay.
I just forgot. I just wanted to say something and nothing came in my head. So then I was
Nice.
like, oh shit, nothing here.
Nice.
All right.
So I'm not introducing myself.
No, I'll do
it.
I'll do it.
All right. hold on. Let me fix this.
All right.
Just fucking with my ears. All right. Oh man.
All right. Hey guys, I'm Daniel. The bearded one on the screen is Saga MC, and this is the show no one asked for, episode 623. How you doing, Saga?
I'm good.
You good?
Yes, I guess.
You guess?
I'm confused, a little bit confused, but I'm all right.
Why are you good?
Just confused. That's it. But anyway.
You didn't like that intro? You didn't like that fanfare?
It's different. I think you got my name wrong, but it's cool. I think you call me Saga McGee, but it's all right. We're good.
Saga McGee. I like that. We're gonna change that.
Right.
I bet you become freaking big off that.
More
name.
famous. Saga
More
McGee.
famous. Saga
there probably already is one, but it's cool.
There's an everything already.
There's an everything.
There is an everything.
But yes. Off air, we were talking about rated R movies.
We were talking about rated R movies and how some of them can slip through the cracks, especially through the childhood years.
So and again, there's movies. Yes, you would think there's staple movies that everyone must see, right?
Yes.
There's those movies you're like, dude, how haven't you seen that, right?
Right.
But then there's also movies that I can understand that are like great movies, but they just slip through the cracks, right? So I guess what I want to say is there's those definitive movies like The Godfather, a Scarface, right? Like if you enjoy film, probably should see those movies.
Yes.
Right? Those are movies that you should have already seen.
Yes.
But there's movies that you're like, oh, you haven't seen that? What? Like I had mentioned Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've talked about this. I feel like we've talked about this.
No, so the reason we've talked about similar things like this about missing rated R movies is because we always talk about how your mom didn't really like let you see stuff. And so like I had parents that they talk trash about it. They'd be like, oh, like don't, that's dumb or whatever.
Yeah.
But they
let you watch it.
They'd still let me watch it. They'd still let me. I mean, I saw RoboCop. RoboCop was came out 4 or 5 years old.
And we talked about those movies.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, my question to you is, does a movie need to be rated R? To where do you draw the line of a movie needing to be rated R versus not?
I feel like there shouldn't be so I feel like certain properties there should be an intention that it should be rated R. For example, Deadpool should be rated R.
Yeah.
Spawn should be rated R. There's certain characters and properties that should be rated R. You can make versions that aren't so kids can enjoy them. I'm sure,
Yeah, but see, I don't like that. That's
okay, so you say that, right? You say that, right? And I say that too. I used to be of that mentality.
Okay.
But if you take one of my favorite groups of characters of all time, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when I first was exposed to them, I was exposed to them through the comics, through the Eastman and Laird comics.
Yeah.
And they were so violent that they had to be in black and white because, and attack robots because they just so much fighting and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so when we finally get the cartoon in 91 or in 80, in the late 80s or whatever, I don't remember. I was a kid. But that cartoon, although it was fantastic. It was like a far cry from the original comics, right? I mean,
true story. Yeah.
now the headbands, they had color. The in the comics, the only thing that was really colored was the red on the headbands. Everything else was black and white. So when we got the cartoons, you get the colors, you get all these weapons and cool characters and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't want to.
Okay, so
if it's good, it's good. I mean, look at MODOK that just came out, and I haven't seen it, but it looks pretty interesting. And that's a darker character, but not rated R. But
no,
they turned him funny, is what I'm saying. You know what
I
mean?
yeah. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things. Like if I think for every movie there should be a two version movie. Not for every movie, but a lot of movies should have two versions. Like I used to like when they would have the director's cut.
Right.
But that's like so far and few between now. Like that they make movies with director's cuts.
Right.
Maybe there's just not enough to make the argument like, oh, we need to have a director's cut version of this. But I don't know. Like, so this is kind of why I bring it up. So I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was telling him like, man, there's certain things. I came up. Oh, that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about Invincible. Yeah. We haven't seen all of it yet because I'm waiting for him. And
oh man, you got to watch it.
Exactly. But the first episode, that last scene of that last fight in the first episode, we're just like, oh my gosh, this is so gory and it's crazy, right? And so then he had mentioned, he's like, man, I'm waiting for Homelander to do that in The Boys, right? Because we had seen season 2 of The Boys, right?
Right.
He's just waiting for like a scene that epic where Homelander is just fucking up like countless fools. That's not like in a dream, right?
Right.
And then I told him like, yeah, that would be dope, but what happens with stuff like that is you can't really do a lot of that stuff with real people. It's hard to make people fucking move even when they're on wires and strings and shit,
to explode and to
like people are still people. They still have limbs and joints that can't move a certain way, And so it's like, he's like, well, you could do it CGI.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but that only works if the CGI is as good as everything else.
Yeah, but look at movies like RoboCop. I mean, when that dude blasts him on the desk, when the bad guy, the bad robot he turns him literally into like a suit, and he's
But that's practical effects, though.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but
still make him violent. Let's
but there's practical effects isn't a thing as much anymore.
I know it stinks.
Like I find like those old school actors, and we've talked about this too, like Ridley Scott, who builds sets. Like I like that they're doing what they do now is where they have like, I guess like on The Mandalorian, they have real places that they go out and shoot, and they have that new state of the art screen that can make it 3D.
Yeah, right.
To where it looks like he's all these crazy places, and more movies are trying to do that, which is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, like that's great, and like okay, Guardians of the Galaxy, they built whole sets, and then they did shit on those sets, or Endgame, like
and I think I think we both prefer the practical effects,
because I feel like if you can make something CGI and it looks fucking great.
Yeah, right.
But like I want to say 7 times out of 10,
it's not.
You can tell where it's off. You can see like that's real, that's pretty fucking close, but not real.
Because what needs to happen is this is what needs to happen. They need to do practical effects and fill in with CGI, not rely on CGI and fill in with practical effects.
Exactly.
It should be like mainly. I mean, I say this, but it's probably a lot more work. But I feel like the CGI is more expensive. You're paying all this digital work and all this stuff, technology, whatever. But I don't know,
maybe it's not. Yeah, maybe building shit is more expensive than rendering shit in a computer. What I do want to see is more motion cap, like fully CGI'd movies, like Final Fantasy, Advent Children. Did you ever see that one?
More of those?
I like those where they like, or like the first Final Fantasy that came out, but it was shitty.
It was
something within or whatever the fuck it was called. But the way they looked was dope.
It was.
So like I want to see more of those movies, just for the fact that yes, we know it's not real, but your mind can understand like they're realistic enough that we can care that they're like real people kind of, but you can again do more things than you could if they were legitly real people.
Yeah, and we're talking about how, like, okay, so your mom didn't let you watch these movies, so like you didn't see Judge Dredd, right? You
No,
didn't
yeah.
see movies like this. And then you haven't seen what, the new Judge Dredd you were saying
No,
too?
I heard it was trash, but maybe it was just trash on a box office standpoint.
No. So have you seen The Raid?
Dude, yes. Of
Okay, so
course.
it's The Raid Dredd.
Yeah.
Like,
See, again, see,
Dredd.
this is why I don't want to have this conversation, because I just remembered we had this conversation.
Oh, we did?
You
Okay,
did,
okay,
because you
okay.
brought up The Raid.
Yes, yes.
But okay, so then going off of that, The
Yeah.
Raid is great. The Raid 2, great.
Yeah, fantastic.
But it's so crazy that this is such a niche market that these movies don't, like, you have to be from freaking Indonesia
To know, yeah.
and a director that no one over here in the States has heard of, and get only actors from what that part of this, country, continent that you're on, to make this, in hopes that somebody in the States are like, wow, that shit is great. And I talked to my cousin, my brother-in-law, and I always tell him this too. It's like, American fight scenes is not the same. It's
They're just
not
the same, yeah.
like the choreography, not the same. The angles, not the same.
Yeah.
Like, I like, and some people might find this boring or whatever, but I like long shots. I love long shots in movies where there's no cut.
Yeah.
There's no match cut, or there's no what is it, zero cut, right?
So look at so you're talking about that, one of the most famous, well, it's not one of the most famous because it's a niche market, like you just said. But if you know what I'm gonna be talking about is The Protector. The dude from Ong Bak, Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
He does this movie called Tom Yong-gun, or it's called The Protector, or what do they call it in the United States?
I think it's The Protector. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And but yeah, I think the original name was Tom Yong-gun.
Is that the one with the elephant?
The one with the elephant.
Yes, yeah. Dude, the elephant gets thrown in the fucking glass.
Yeah,
it's practical effects.
Practical
effects. A dummy elephant.
Yeah,
it's fucking funny, but it shouldn't be funny. But yeah.
But dude, the one shot where he goes up the freaking building was so fantastic. It's so crazy, and just the energy that it takes to do that. And one shot. It's a seamless shot. Like almost no cuts. All the way to the top. That was insane. That was crazy. But yeah, stuff like that, and it's made with like on a lower budget, and it's fantastic, and it's just crazy. Like, I don't know how much the Raid costs very little to make, because he was trying to get money to actually make the Raid 2. The Raid 2 was really the money, that was really the movie he wanted to make, but didn't have the funds or whatever, so he made the Raid 2 to generate the funds. And boy, man, it really did. Fantastic.
You know what movie I saw? The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's so far away from what you're saying. I just saw that one with Michael B. Jordan, the Tom Clancy movie.
Oh my goodness, I saw it too, and
so it looked like it was going to be a badass film, right? I mean, you obviously thought it was going to be good. You didn't think it was going to be?
No, I didn't. I thought it was. I didn't think it was. Okay, this is what I thought. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I didn't think it was actually going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be great, but I thought, oh, this is going to be fun action, like where I don't care too much and I can see some cool stuff. No,
I thought it was going to be dope, because of the little bit that I saw.
Yeah, so in the beginning it starts, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I might like this.
Yeah, and that first beginning is just like, oh shit, this movie's gonna be fucking dope. And then it was like,
I didn't think that going into it. Going into it, I was like, oh, this is a movie that you don't have to watch with your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like you can just watch it and like it's whatever. You go to sleep to it. It's like the late night movie,
Yeah.
And I like action. I like soldiers, whatever. So I put it on, and then the first 5-10 minutes, I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, but it's Tom Clancy. You think it's gonna be fucking hold some weight.
And they're talking about the 6, like the rainbows, like
at the very I mean, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, spoiler alert. At the end, yeah. Okay. I got geeked out over that though.
Over that, yeah.
At the end, because they're like, my wife was watching. My wife was watching it, and my brother-in-law were watching it, and they were like, "Man, this is a snooze fest," And I was like, "Yeah." So I was trying to build it up, like, "Come on, it's still gonna be okay."
Yeah, no.
And then it wasn't, right? At the very end, the post-credit scene,
they tossed the Rainbow Six, like.
Yeah, and then he's like, "I want to create a team."
Yeah.
I shit you not, though. I shit you not. I was like, "Oh." Because I was like, dude,
the Rainbow Six. Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna name it or whatever? Rainbow Six. Oh shit! Looking around, they're like, They're just like, what does that mean to me?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, dude, Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's how I looked and I was like, oh, like, so now you want to start the movie at the end of the movie?
Yeah, I was like, and then my wife and my brother-in-law, they're like my brother-in-law was like, I don't get it, don't care.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, so what? They're gonna make another one of these?
Yeah, dude.
And I was like it was this hype, but then I realized this one wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So it was like I was like this, like, yes, it's gonna be probably more of the same.
so look. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Mortal Kombat. So Mortal Kombat, like, come on, man. Talk about, like, I went in thinking this is going to be so dope. I went in, and you know why I went in with that feeling? Because I already think that the original Mortal Kombat is probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's one of the greatest video game movies of all time.
I'll give you one of the greatest adaptations of a video game.
No,
greatest movie of all time. I can't put that up there. I can't.
Maybe that's personal to me.
Yeah, I've let that go long ago.
No, dude, it's so good. And anyways,
I saw pieces of it recently, and I was like, God damn.
What? No, I recently saw it leading into the next Mortal Kombat because I love that movie. I still remember going with my dad to go see it. This was 94, 95. I was probably like 9 or 10. And I still remember, like, loving all the cheese. Like,
the
loving
CGI is so bad.
I did not care because the banter is so good.
Get over here. I was like, was this supposed to be in 3D? I was like, 3D wasn't around then.
But the fight though is still sick. Like when they actually throw hands and kicks, and when they take them to the Scorpion realm,
they do video game moves too.
Yes, and
like more dope. So, yeah.
And they do it fluidly. So I can go. The Liu Kang reptile fight. Don't tell me that was not dope. That was.
That's what I'm saying. I only saw pieces of it.
You haven't even seen it all?
No, you're talking about the new one?
No, the old one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in its entirety as of late.
You're messing up. We have to watch it because look.
Do we?
No, we do. It's so that you can understand.
The Goro. I remember I saw the Goro scene, and I was like, that's still pretty good.
So
still holds up.
And then compared to now, so you're talking about CGI. Yeah. Not only are you talking about CGI, but you're talking about like setting up to a sequel, like so blatantly and obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here we have a Goro that, and a lot, actually not just Goro. We have a lot of guys that look way better than the first movie that was in 94, 95.
Yeah.
Like this is years after. So, okay, they look better. The powers, they're way better. But like, you just don't care about the powers. Like, why is the only character that you care about Kano? And then, you know what I mean? And then he's a bad guy. Like, come on. And
I don't even care for him either.
Yeah, and you don't really care about him either is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I went in thinking it was going to be dope. And it was not. And you know, the first, like, what, 8 minutes, 10 minutes of the Scorpion where he this spoiler alert, people. Spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen it by now too, though. I mean,
but we're talking Mortal Kombat, so just the warning, here it is. But okay, so the first 8-10 minutes is Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. And it's probably the best 8-10 minutes of the entire movie, hands down.
I want to say the first 30 minutes of the movie is good. No, because that's with Jax against Sub-Zero was pretty dope.
That fight was crap. That fight
was
so bad. The Jax Sub-Zero fight?
I thought aesthetically, in terms of what Sub-Zero is doing, not so much Jax, but I think the visual was cool to me.
It's like, what are you doing fighting Sub-Zero? And then the visuals, what I hated, the backdrop.
Really? No, not the backdrop. I'm talking about like his power, the ice, that kind of stuff. Like that was cool.
I liked him, the chase. So I like Sub-Zero in that. But I
also like the freezing of the bullets. The freezing of the bullets. That's what I'm saying. Jax, it could have replaced it with somebody else. But
that's what I'm saying. That's why that's I mean,
the ripping of the arms I thought was cool.
It was okay. But so that's what I was gonna tell you. A lot of that rated R or whatever, it came at the end of the fights. The fights seemed very like safe until the fatality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only fight where it was very interesting during the fight was Sub-Zero and Scorpion both times. But even in the last fight, when they fight at the end, it's still also the backdrop is kind of like, why are you guys fighting here
in a cage, a cage match?
Yeah, in a cage. Like, dude, come on. And Cole, like he's supposed. Okay, so they completely demolished the idea of a chosen one because they're like, oh, you're the chosen one supposedly.
Yeah.
And then like he's a
anybody could be a chosen one.
Anyone can be a chosen one.
Yeah. So as long as I kill you and you have the tattoo, it just jumps to my body.
Like, why are you a chosen one then? Why are we following you? And then he loses every single time. So there's nothing special about him until he gets the powers. And then even with the powers, he's like still basic. That it looks so bad. And so that's what I was trying to say is like Goro, yes, he looks way better, but the lines and the dialogues, although cheesy in the first one, dude, those are $500 glasses, asshole. And then he kicks him in the face. What? He kicks Goro in the face after saying, like, dude, mess with you just ruined my glasses. Now I'm kicking you in the face. And then this is the part where you fall down. Foreshadowing with the first badass scene when he whoops on like 5 dudes and you think it's real, but it's just the set. That was clever also. And then, I mean, come on, this movie had none of that cleverness, none of that like substance. So
it was rushed.
It was brushed.
Rushed, yeah.
And then the arcanas, like anyone can get one. And then it's so reminiscent to Annihilation where they have the tattoos and stuff like that. Like, what the heck? Why are you taking that stuff? So I feel like they took a lot of the stuff that the first one messed up in and they fixed it here. So they went for the looks, they went for the fatalities. But they got rid of the tournament. There's no tournament in Mortal Kombat. There's no tournament. And then the rules didn't make sense. The context of the story made no sense. They're like, oh, like you can't break the rules, but then we're breaking the rules whenever we want. And then Raiden's like, I can't interfere, but interferes at certain times, like 3 times. And it's like, wait, so then just interfere then. Like, I don't get it.
It was rushed. It was like they threw a bunch of characters that you may or may not know, because some of the characters my brother-in-law didn't know. You know, he wasn't a huge fan of Mortal Kombat, you know. It was you know, he didn't grow up watching that or playing it so much. And so it was like he knew what Mortal Kombat was. He knew certain characters, the main ones. But then you start throwing other characters that you would only know if you played the games a lot.
And then
I like Cabal. Cabal's dope to me.
But he says nothing. They say nothing.
He was cool, but I was like, you could have done way more with him, you know?
Yeah, but that's why, because you're just throwing in characters just to throw in characters.
Yeah.
And like, I feel not insulted, but I feel like, okay, like, what? So you just threw out making a movie just because you put Natara in it? And like, okay, Natara had a cool fatality, but Natara literally has no lines. She has 0 lines. General Raikou, I think, has 1 line. He has no lines, and he's a general. He's supposed to be the general of Outworld, and he has no lines. Like, what the hell? And then in the back they have like statues of Onaga. So you're supposed to go, ooh. But like they never do anything with any of them.
But again, and that's only if you know those things.
Yeah, right.
Because you're like, oh, there's a statue I should care about because they focused on it.
Yeah. Okay. But what does that matter to any non-fan?
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They threw out making a movie because they went so heavy on. There's a such thing as good fan service and bad fan service.
Yeah.
Like, there is, and everyone will say,
sure.
Like, you'll have people say that all fan service is bad. Like, just make a movie and then whatever falls. No, because you have to. That's what people came to see. So there has to be some sort of fan service.
You have to acknowledge certain things.
Yeah.
Although it's not going to be a mainstay in the movie, acknowledging it is key. You know?
Make Liu Kang the main character. Like in the first
Liu Kang was weak.
So weak.
Honestly. I was like, who's this high school kid?
Yeah. and this is everything that I'm saying is not opinion. This is all stuff. If you watch the movie, it's in the movie.
Yeah.
The final battle, like literally, so other than the Scorpion and Sub-Zero, anything everything happened in that sand pit. So all the rest of the fights after like basically the first 30 minutes of the movie, and then that last like ice scene.
Yeah, that's the budget. That's where the budget came into play.
They just happened in a little sand pit. And then I don't understand. There's like Jax is getting smashed, and then like, but then you turn in the same sand pit, and Shang-Tsung now is fighting there with Kung Lao. But then it's like, wait, where did Jax and and Kano go? Like, where did they go?
When I saw Kung Lao, I was like, oh shit, and then I stopped caring at some point.
Care because they have no lines, because
no,
they have no substance,
no depth.
In the first one, although it's cheesy, and yes, the budget is there. Like, you see that it's not there, right? You see it, you can tell. But the dialogue and the substance, the chemistry between Sonya and Johnny Cage, like Johnny Cage constantly trying to flirt with Sonya Blade, and her always like, just insulting him back. Liu Kang always being a weird chosen one, and then the banter between them. You're following these three characters through the story. So even if the movie is bad, it still follows a basic story structure. And there's a Mortal Kombat tournament, because
that they have to enter.
Called Mortal Kombat. So the movie has Mortal Kombat in it. And so like here, there's no tournament. Shang-Tsung, Shang-Tsung looked better. The actor they got is probably a better skilled actor, but you're not going to tell me that you saw the first Mortal Kombat and this Mortal Kombat and cared more about this Shang-Tsung over the cheesy, supposedly crappy, because yes, it is by definition crappy, but he still has more lines, more presence. When he fights Liu Kang at the end, it means something. Like when Liu Kang, when he turns into Kung Lao and he starts trying to convince Liu Kang not to fight, he's like, come with me. And he's like, no, I'm not responsible for your death. Everyone is responsible for their own path. And then he like messes him up. Like, what the? You're like, oh man, he's overcoming his fear. There's a story structure there. So although it's bad, it is 94 bad. But I mean, I still prefer it over this.
But see, that's what happens when you try to paint. How do I put it? Like you have a great story, but you're not focusing on the story. You're focusing on the beauty of it, so to speak, for lack of a better term.
The spectacle of it. The spectacle of it. Yeah.
Like let's make it all look cool.
Yes.
And let's let the story suffer.
Yes.
Which I'd rather have a better story and a shittier outlook, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to say I think the only character or characters I cared for was
Kano.
I didn't even really care for him. I mean, he was good. Yeah, but
funny.
I liked Scorpion more than half the other people, and he was only in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Right.
But like, I can see the pain coming to see his wife frozen, getting fucking angry and killing all these dudes, and being like, I'm gonna come back. Oh shit, Sub-Zero. I was like, dudes on a different level, trying to be the guy. I cared for those two, and they weren't really in the movie. Like, Sub-Zero was in the movie more than Scorpion, but it just,
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so if you look at the fights, if you analyze the fights, right? The fatalities of the fights, the powers, they look.
Was there like one fatality?
But you don't really care. You like, okay, for example, Jax and General Raikou, they fight on the pit. And then they don't even use the fatality of the pit. Like, so that's crazy. I thought that was wild. And then, yes, the fatality was cool when Jax smashes his head. But the fight that they had was lame. It was like a lame fight. It almost seemed like whoever choreographed the first Scorpion fight didn't choreograph any of the other fights. You know what I mean?
It got too expensive.
It got too exactly. It seemed.
But here, dude, this is. I find this is probably the worst part, and there's many parts that are bad, right? But I think this is the worst part to me of the whole movie because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It just doesn't make sense.
This part. Okay, you want to tell me that people get their powers randomly, whatever. Let's go with that, okay?
Don't give me an explanation.
Well, okay, but they did. But
trained and just trained and he.
But listen, they did. They gave us an explanation, and okay, I will let that shitty explanation go. Let's continue, right? The part where I was like, this is the dumbest part of the movie, is where Jax has no arms.
Oh my goodness, dude!
Gets these fucking T-Rex paperclip arms, right?
Yes.
Can't do shit with them.
Yes.
And then later, right? He has to help Sonya Blade, right?
Yeah.
Has to help her remove this boulder. Yeah. And now his powers kick in, right? So my question is, had he had regular arms, would his arms gotten bigger? Yeah. If that's his power? You get what I'm saying? Like, these arms aren't even attached to him. They're not real.
It just,
you know what?
It just doesn't. Like his, hey, Kano's eye and Jax's arms. Like that should have been with technology, not like what?
Yeah, but Kano's eye is just gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they put the laser from within, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, but you don't see. I don't remember them showing any metal, right?
No, they don't.
No. Okay, so that's coming from your where your eye used to be.
Why not the other eye?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, let's say the cornea was still in there, damaged, and now it can shoot lasers. Okay. Dumb, but I'll take it.
Okay.
That same principle does not apply to metal arms.
Yeah, what?
Because the metal arms isn't organic.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And
like your arms grew? The metal arms grew.
Yes.
Do you understand how stupid that is?
And the fact that these monks in the middle of the desert gave him arms after they tore him off. Like I was even thinking like, oh, they're building up to the arms. Like that's how he's gonna get his arms.
I thought he was gonna get big arms from that. Yeah. But no. He's gonna get a power that encompasses the metal on his arm.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, what? And that's what I was trying to say.
I was like,
okay.
I was laughing that whole fucking time. I was like,
so you know what's funny is that so what I didn't like that I was gonna mention, and so what I didn't like, and I know you'll feel a certain way about it too, is that people will make this this is why it sounds like I'm going so hard against the movie, is because I feel like people will mistakenly think this is great because they are shutting off their mind and just seeing the fatalities and just seeing the looks, quote unquote, but they're ignoring everything else. And I feel like that makes me feel a certain type of way. And also the comparison that because it's something that you shut off your brain to, that because it's like that and it's just fan service and it's just for fun, that it's like Godzilla and Kong. And that's just not true in any way. Now I'm going back to good fan service versus bad fan service. Yes, Godzilla and Kong was all spectacle, but there was a story structure. Whether you agree with it or not, there's parts of it that I don't agree with it. Like Kong's story structure was a little bit shaky. That side mission in they could have done something else with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're nitpicking at that point. It is a popcorn flick, like Mortal Kombat was supposed to be.
Yeah. But it's more true to the characters.
Yes, it's more true to Kong and Godzilla and even Mecha Ghidorah and all Mecha Godzilla. It's true to all of these characters, and there's a story structure. As of here, they so blatantly and obviously said F the story, F effort in putting together a story. Let's screw it. Let's just save this putting together a story for the sequel. Let's do that. Let's put together a sequel. And that's what makes me mad. It's like, wait, you got fooled by that? Like, I like the parts that I liked about it. I like the looks. I like the fatalities. I like the Scorpion Sub-Zero stuff about it.
I like Cabal being finally in a movie, but
yeah, exactly. That's cool. But his accent was really weird and non-explained, and he turns Kano just from talking to him. I don't know. It's like it's so many things where I can list where I'm like, okay, and why am I liking a Goro fight? Why am I liking a Goro fight from the mid 90s more than this Goro fight now? Like this fight was there was action and he jumps up and you see Goro in all his like Goro-ness. But like there was no I didn't care about the punches. When he hits Cole, like I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Cage is fighting, it's like there's a substance there. He's fighting because he saw his friend die beforehand. Is that fight good? No, probably not. But there's substance there. Like, oh, that's why Cage is jumping in he's not even supposed to, but he went to Shang-Tsung and made this deal with him. And that's what Raiden's been telling them the whole time. So then Raiden has an argument with him. But then after Cage walks out, he says, like, finally, one of them is learning. Like, why? Because story. It's just a small detail. That's literally 2 seconds. 2 seconds, Cage walks off camera, and Raiden goes, finally, some of them are learning. Like, that's exactly what I said. Take matters into your own hands and fight when you feel ready to fight. And so it just makes sense. And there's only 3 characters that you're really following that are the good guys, you know, and you have your side characters that help them, Katana, whatever. And again, if you analyze fight by fight, because of that story structure, you care more when Liu Kang fights Reptile, because Reptile's been following the whole movie. He's not just a creature, and then there's no
a giant iguana. It's a giant iguana.
Like that was kind of lame. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? You're not gonna tell me that the reptile fight here was better than the reptile Liu Kang fight. There's just no way. There's no way. The Sub-Zero Liu Kang fight, that was probably my least favorite fight, but it still was okay. Dude, the fight where all three of them as homies, you get that one scene. You get the one, it gives you the one scene where you have Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, and Sonya fight against a bunch of goons. That's what I'm talking about. Good fan service. Is that really like Godfather type filmmaking? No, like clearly you're putting together the three characters and they're beating up a bunch of nameless bad guys. But while putting on the Mortal Kombat song, you're not going to tell me you don't feel those kicks and those punches.
No,
they're like corny and like you're like, yes, you're with it. You know what I mean?
They tried to do that in this one.
Yeah.
And you know where Scorpion he throws his fucking, you know, he's all get over here. He's all, dun, dun, dun. You hear like briefly, and I was like, oh
but then
it's like,
you know what that reminds me of, but where I kind of like, okay, so Power Rangers, the new Power Rangers that had come out, the latest one, I felt like that one didn't have a lot of Power Rangers, but they focused heavily on the story. So as a movie, if you're not a fan of Power Rangers, if you watch that, I'm sure you like it because you're like following a story and it follows and it carries through. But they gave you so little fan service that I bet you, if you're a Power Rangers fan, you're looking like, wait, they morphed one time. They fought one time as Power Rangers, and you see the Zords for literally like 5 minutes. But I thought it set up for a sequel very good. I just was disappointed in the movie because I felt that it gave us such little fan service that no one was going to support a sequel, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you have to have a healthy medium.
A healthy, a healthy medium of some fan service where whatever, but still care about the story. I feel like those are two extremes, like where Mortal Kombat only cared about fan service here, and yes, it's going to have a sequel because it's already confirmed and the budget is there, so it doesn't even matter if it bombed or not. But it you know, people are going to watch a sequel. And so Power Rangers, I was disappointed because I knew that movie was trying to earn a sequel.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, no, globally this isn't going to fly. Like they're not going to make the money, and they didn't, and it stunk because I felt like now that they got the introduction out of the way, we could have got really into the Rangers and Tommy and, you know, the Green Ranger, some cool stuff. But yeah, with this Mortal Kombat, I was disappointed because I thought, okay, again, that being said, where I think Mortal Kombat is the best adaptation from a video game, other than the Pikachu Pokemon movie, I think it's the best video game adaptation. Silent Hill is up there too. I thought, wow, if I think that about a 95, like obviously I have a guilty pleasure of it, but even in all of its badness, all of its like crappiness, it still is what it is. It's still one of the greatest video game adaptations of all time. Now we have these actors, this action and CGI and story writing, and that's what kind of like really missed the mark for me. I was like, how is this like on par or less than this like movie from the 90s? That shouldn't be the case. You know what I mean? It should be like leagues above. You know?
But it's hard.
Later.
I guess it's hard to do that.
You know.
I mean, I guess if you're not Marvel, it's hard.
Well, so it's funny that you bring that up because wow, again, how we're saying like the first 10 minutes seems like a completely different movie than the movie. I would have been down for that if they would have made a Scorpion movie, a movie called like The Descendants and it's Kung Lao and Liu Kang, a movie called.
They're not thinking big picture like that though.
No, but if they've done that, and then maybe the fourth movie is the Mortal Kombat, you know, you meet.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They're not thinking that far ahead. They're like, let's cash in now. Cash out now. If we make money, let's do another 3. You know?
Right.
Versus like, hey, let's make this a slow process to build up. Hopefully, we get these other movies. You know, but.
It's sad because the formula has been proven by Marvel, right?
Oh yeah.
But because people just, I don't know, I feel like studios are just like stubborn and they don't want to copy Marvel, so they purposely do something that doesn't work. I just don't understand. Like the Monsterverse, I would have been so down for that, but they tried to add like all of this fan service in the Mummy, you know, like clearly set up. Like instead of just make a movie, then make another movie and connect them, kind of like how Iron Man, you know. Well, no, I take that back. Iron Man 2 was kind of like really fan servicey and really a setup for
So obviously Mortal Kombat has already come and gone, so to speak. That's why we're kind of just like, let's fucking talk about it. Vent about it. But I think it was like a week ago or last week or whatever that the Venom 2 trailer came out.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Did
right.
you see that?
Yes, I did see it.
And what did you think?
Okay, so I I I was into it. I was like,
Were you?
yeah, like I didn't love it. I didn't love
Yeah.
it. And obviously, I think what's happening is that you're just remembering the first movie. Yeah,
So this is what I had tweeted out. I was like, this looks like the first one,
mhm,
and I'm gonna treat it as such.
yeah,
I'm not gonna go in with high expectations,
mhm,
and I will be probably more satisfied. Because the
mhm,
first one, I was like, this movie's not gonna be good.
yeah,
And then when I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
better than I thought it
yeah.
was.
Right, right, right,
Tom Hardy, again, great actor,
right.
can carry a movie by himself. We
Yeah.
already knew that.
Yes.
Dope as the character.
True.
Everything else, okay. So
I
now in this
totally,
movie, I'm doing the same thing. I
totally
feel
agree.
Tom Hardy's gonna handle his shit. The
Yeah.
movie's not gonna be that good. Maybe it'll be better than I think.
Yeah.
Carnage looked cool,
He looked great.
but at the same time, like I was a big Venom fan when, back in the day, right?
Of course.
But once I stumbled upon Carnage, I was
Yeah.
like, because red's my favorite color.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Carnage is crazier of a
He's
dude.
so cool.
I was just like
And
I
the
was like,
video games after him, like Maximum
yes,
Carnage was
yeah, oh,
dope Super NES game.
yes,
Dope Super NES game.
yeah. I was like, Venom is the shit. Because I
Yeah.
was a Spider-Man fan. I was like, dude, Venom is the shit.
In Maximum
And
Carnage, you could play as Venom too.
yes,
It was
yeah.
you, Venom and
Mhm.
Spider-Man. You rode through.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess the only drawback to being a Carnage fan more than a Venom or Spider-Man fan
Right.
was that he doesn't shoot webs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that Venom was like like a Black Widow almost, like
Yeah.
a bigger fucking spider, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he still shot the webs, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Carnage is like, he doesn't shoot webs, but he can still do the same shit,
And stuff. Yeah.
But the fact that he can transform his arms all crazier than Venom could,
Yeah.
not to say Venom can't, but yeah, like Carnage, I was like, dude, this fool is fucking sick, right?
Yeah.
So I've always been like a little, reserved because like my brother-in-law is a big Venom fan,
Okay.
and he was like super excited for the movie. I was like, okay, but yeah, at the end of the first one, I was like, damn, they're gonna introduce Carnage. I was like, dude, don't fuck it up,
Yeah. Right.
But we'll see what happens.
You look great. Carnage looked great though, and,
Yeah.
and so what I tried to do is try to watch the trailer without the memory of the first one.
Yeah.
Just
And this
kind
one I watched all the way through because I'm not like that invested in it.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to see that. I'm like,
yeah.
just give it to me.
Yeah, right.
It might not be good. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get that.
So
mhm.
well, I was gonna say this is like nowhere here nor there, but this is like an adaptation I wish they can do, and I feel now would be the best time to do it. And since we were talking about rated R movies and like Judge Dredd and all that,
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
Oh, dude.
I think if they made a Duke Nukem now,
Yeah.
I think that shit would be fun. I mean, you obviously would have to do it correctly and not just do like a Mortal Kombat fucking bullshit to it.
But
But
really, no, you kind of need see.
Well, see, Duke Nukem's a little different.
Yeah, Duke Nukem's different. There is a story there, but I mean,
yeah, but there's more to not have to like hold too tightly to. Yeah,
exactly. You just have Duke Nukem going in there, killing a bunch of demons, and it's
pig cops, dude. Perfect time for pig cops.
Yeah,
dude. Like I would be fucking down for that movie.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff they're trying to bring back, and
there's a lot of shit there that they could bring back if done correctly. Like like people like it's like we keep talking about like, oh man, there's no new shit that they can come up with.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that, right? I thought, but there's so much that you can create that hasn't been done that's old. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't been brought to the screen.
Okay, so here's an example. Here's an example of this. Black Superman.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of an issue with that because I'm not against a Black Superman. I just feel like there you go. You're taking an old thing and you're changing it, and you're not giving us the thing that we want. And there are Black Supermen. Calvin Harris is a Black Superman. You can do a Black Superman like a Miles Morales, right?
Yeah.
You can do that. You don't have to take Steve Rogers and make him Black. There's an Isaiah Bradley. There is an Isaiah Bradley. There is a Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
So like taking a Clark Kent and just making him Black, I feel like that's not really the change that you're talking about that we need.
Yeah, that's like a band-aid.
Yeah, the Band-Aid, exactly, exactly. And there's so many characters,
Yeah,
black
like
characters that you could use.
like Black Panther. Again, the story. I mean, as a Marvel movie, the action and stuff wasn't my favorite.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
the beauty of it, the
Yes,
culture of it, like
yes.
all of that
Mhm,
was way better than a lot of other Marvel movies. You
mhm.
know, like
I
someone's like, "Oh man, that's the best fight scenes I've seen." I'm like,
No,
no,
I don't think
they were
so.
weak fight scenes to me.
Yeah, they were.
But the character development,
Yeah,
the social commentary,
the
the
cinematography,
beauty, all of that was like, dude, this is
costuming.
fucking dope.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was dope.
You
It
know,
was
like
dope.
it
And
had it.
it was rich.
Yes, exactly. It had something that all the other ones didn't, you know?
Robust.
And yes, and it wasn't a white character that they just turned black.
Yeah, it was
You
a
know?
black character that's
Yeah.
always been originally black, like from the
Yes.
beginning.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, was like they keep saying that, like that the only way a black character will survive is basically if you take a white character and then turn him black,
Yeah.
and that's just
No.
not true. It's been proven so many times that,
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah.
Spawn,
Blade. That's why
Black
people want
Panther.
to see a new Blade. It's not
Yeah.
because Blade was this other white guy. Blade was dope, and he was originally one of the first movies that was a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just
by
really,
Fox, but you know,
it's really crazy because like I'm down and want Black Superman or Black Panther 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like so when you say like, oh, I don't want it in this way, it might come off like maybe you're racist or whatever, but it's not that. I feel it's more racist to take a Clark Kent and make him black because this is why. So this is why. Because there's almost a century of Superman Clark Kent as being white, right?
Yeah.
And if you take a black character and now put him as Clark Kent and call him Clark Kent and do that, yes, we will have scored a point and made a black Superman, yay, right?
Yeah.
But from the point that you make him and forever on, he will be known as the Black Superman. Like that will always. Will we ever just call him Superman? No, because we'll know that in our head and as society, we'll know that Superman is Clark Kent and is white Superman. So we have to always add the Black Superman. So why do that to him already? Why already start him from backwards? Like you can already make a prominent black character. And I'm not saying don't make a Superman. Again, there's Calvin Harris. There's other Supermen that you can make that are black. Where's my example and my proof for that? Miles Morales, right? You took a character, you made him black, you made him Spider-Man, and still people, kids, everyone will call him Miles Morales. They won't call him Spider-Man, right? Because when we think of Peter Parker, we think of a white Peter Parker and whatever. So even Miles Morales, we call him Miles Morales, Spider-Man, or just Miles Morales. And so that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know. It just
makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So that's why I was really mad with the Static Shock reprint, like the rerun happened a few years ago, and I was kind of annoyed because they changed his origin. So like in the beginning, his origin was something I don't remember because it was like years ago. I read it like after the show came out, and so I went back and to read the comic, right?
Yeah,
because the show is dope, Static Shock.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so so you go and you read the comic and it's pretty dark. At least the first comic is pretty dark. Like Static Shock, he has his powers or whatever, and he's going to kill this white gang member with a gun. And so he's gonna go and kill him because in retaliation to something that the gang did before. So he's like going and he's thinking about it and he's like, oh man, like I have my shot right now. And he's struggling with this decision. Like, should I revenge? Should I kill him? And as he's deciding that, the cops show up. And then there's this shootout between the cops and the gang, and he gets caught in the crossfire, and that's how he uses his powers for the first time. It's super intense, very heavy. There's substance there.
Yeah.
And now what they did with the reprint, which I was super excited for, because I was like, man, they're either going to give us something just as heavy or something even darker or something, heavier, right? No. So what they did was now he like, instead of going to like a gang hangout, he went to like a anti Black Lives Matter protest or something.
Yeah.
and like, and then later he basically wants to kill the same white kid, but only because he's white. And the decision that he makes, so that moment that you get where he's like, oh, I'm not gonna kill him.
Yeah.
That comes because his homie is yelling at him and saying like, dude, it's like, you shouldn't kill him. Like, there's cameras and like everybody's watching, whatever. And like, this is bad. Like, they'll know it's you. And
it's just more of like, you're going to get caught standpoint.
Yes. And so then he stops. Then he's like, oh, shoot, you're right. And so he stops because he's like, oh, you're right. This will look bad. So he stops and he doesn't kill him. And you're supposed to, as a reader, feel like what? I don't even know what you're supposed to feel. Yeah, I don't even know what you're supposed to feel. But I read that and I was like, wait, what? So you're just
there's no inner turmoil. It's just like, oh wait, I don't want to get caught. Okay, we're good.
It was so crazy, and I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. Like these changes, not just with Black characters, but like these changes that go from like, maybe they're not the best, but there's some sort of story structure there to like, now there's just something like clickbaity, something that just kind of like, oh, let's just throw it, it happens, and then like, let's move on with the character. So here, yes, clickbaity, the Jack's arms, like, you know, ripping off. Oh, okay, that's cool. You can clip that up, and then that's cool. Natara getting killed by Kung Lao's. That was dope. That was dope. But the fight before that was not. So anything happening before that, Natara was not dope. She didn't say any lines, and nothing happened. But the yes, that 5 seconds of her dying was pretty dope. And
but I think that's also indicative of how we are as a society. Like, you have 3 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
You have 3 seconds to wow somebody, you know, whether it be a post, a video, a GIF, like GIF, whatever. Like, you have 3 seconds. Oh, didn't catch me.
Wait,
next.
Do you? Because if you look at what the Snyder cut, what is that, 4 hours, and it was good.
But at the same time, that was drawn over how long? Like a year.
Oh yeah.
You know, worth of like putting in the work to get that shit released, right? That's a different one, because that is different when you have people who want to see something.
Yeah.
Versus you saying, hey, you need to see this.
Oh yeah, you need to see.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm telling you, you need to see this, I got 3 seconds.
Yeah.
To get you to think, oh wait, okay, that's cool, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, versus like, I'm already in, show me something. I think that's the difference with the Snyder cut. It's like, I want it. Oh, it's there, then I'm down to see it. Versus like, hey, you don't want to see this, I'm gonna make you want to in 3 seconds.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. It didn't hit me.
Yeah.
I just wish, you know, like you were saying, okay, and there's stuff that you can take, like Masters of the Universe. I like the original, even though I know it's really horrible, it's bad. And I know there's a cut out there of a few scenes that if you added to that movie, it would make it a little bit better. Like the Skeletor Dolph Lundgren scene, it's very close up, so you just see their faces and then the clashes of the sword. You don't see them fighting actually, so that's kind of a bummer. But I still liked it. I still liked the movie, whatever. But again, you know, now I'm kind of worried because of the Mortal Kombat and I'm kind of worried. I'm like, man, I want a Masters of the Universe, like a He-Man.
But you don't.
But I don't. But I don't. I kind of like, I'm okay with the bad that we have already.
Yeah, don't make it any worse. Yeah,
don't make it worse. Like,
that's kind of how it was with, we talked about that too, the Ninja Turtles. Like when they first came, the sequels were like, oh no, I'd rather not see them then.
Yeah, but I like
new ones.
I like Ooze.
No, I'm talking about the newer ones.
Oh, these ones. Yeah, exactly. It's so bad because they made them all CGI. So it's like you would think, oh man, so like now they should look better, but they don't. They look even as bad as the originals look. They look better.
And I think what it is that's the difference when you have people who are fans making things that other fans will like versus people who are like, hey, I'm a studio.
Yeah.
Fans like this, let's make it.
Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one, is the highest, or at the time was the highest grossing independent movie of all time. So
I can see that.
because they just, no studio would take it, so they had to make it independently, and
that's again that
a bunch of money.
That goes back full circle with these movies that are foreign, that they're like, oh, we're gonna build this ourselves, and America will like it.
Yeah.
But then America will be like, hey, let's do our own version. Let's buy the rights.
Yeah.
And then fucking make our own version, which is gonna be way watered down, but. American cinema viewers are gonna be like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, oh, you do know that this was a foreign film before?
True.
Are you gonna watch the foreign film? Nah, because I got the American version and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, but it's just not.
Yeah,
Just like the Godzilla, the American version, the Roger Emmerich or whatever he made the Godzilla just wasn't up to par with Godzilla. Although I like that as a popcorn flick, it's fun to go through that movie, but it's not Godzilla.
At the time, I liked it, and the only way I'll ever defend it was it was one of those like I just was clamoring for another Godzilla film.
Yes.
So when I saw like, oh, they were bringing it back, I was excited.
Like fine, yes, I'll take.
I was like, and I was like, oh, wasn't that good? So clearly not the real Godzilla, so I'll take it.
It's funny because I try to explain that to people. Like, yes, the first Captain America. Well, no, it was the second or third Captain America, the one where he fights an Italian like Red Skull or something. It's like it's so bad. Or the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Like these are bad, but it's all you had, and so when you had it, you're like, oh, are they gonna continue this? And so
I'll hold on to it. Yeah,
you don't care. It's so bad. You're just
but now I think you and I especially we understand like where they can take it now.
Yes,
that we don't have to just settle for them just making one.
Yeah, right.
I rather, like you said, you rather them not make it.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna not treat it like it's supposed to.
Yeah, right.
Then don't make it.
But there's sometimes where they hit the mark, right? Deadpool. Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, that was because there was somebody involved with saying, "Hey, I want it to be this way."
You're right.
And it marinated for like a year or two.
You're right.
I read that script. I remember when that came out, or when they were talks about it, before they ever released the leak, video, right? Yeah. The screen test or whatever. They had leaked out and they might have done this on purpose too, but they leaked out the whole fucking script.
Wow.
And you know how I don't like watching the trailers in full, right? But I was like, dude, I want to read this to see how it would have been. I read that shit like 3 times. I was like, oh my gosh, this has to be made.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, when they made it, there were certain things that were different, but in the script, DMX music was playing. I was like, dude, this is speaking to me. And then finally they released the little like 5-minute, screen test. And we're like, dude, this has to be made. And again, they took their time. They made it right way.
Yeah.
Part 1 was dope. Part 2 was dope. And the crazy part is you're using characters that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, right.
For some of it. Like in the first one, who's in the first one?
I don't even remember. Deadpool,
yeah, right? Mega Sonic Teenage Warhead. Yeah. And you're like, okay, fuck it. We'll take these characters, Francis, fucking Ajax. Okay, cool. Ajax is a part of Deadpool, yeah. And we'll run with it. And it was great. And the second one, you threw in a couple more people that we didn't care for.
Well, they all died.
Yeah. But then you started, the second one you started building with Cable. You put fucking Juggernaut in there. Like, dude, when Juggernaut comes.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, you had the team that dies, right?
Exactly. All these people, you're like, oh, okay, I know them. And then they're gone. but it builds up to fucking having Cable, which is a big name. Fucking Juggernaut, which is a big name. Even Domino's a big name, right?
Yeah.
And then, but that's what I'm saying. The first film didn't have that star power.
Yeah.
These like fucking, these notables.
Yeah.
You even had the cameo with the X-Men, like.
Right. I heard a cool fan theory where Logan was set in the Deadpool universe. They're all connected, and you can see because in Logan, Professor X gone mad, right? And he's lost control. So it can fit if you think about it like this: Professor X killed the X-Men, went nuts and killed them all, and so the only people really left are Colossus and Negasonic.
Oh, yeah,
and that's it. And that's why you only see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe like a few others that you don't see. That's it. They killed them all. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. More to come.
Yeah.
But all right, man. I think that's our episode for this week. And make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, this is a show no one asked for. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Saga MC.
Peace.
Later.
Wow.